everybody. Brendan Lawlor is my name from a company called Innovation 21. I've worked as an innovation and research consultant, research management consultant for the last 20 years. And what I'd like to do today, just very briefly, is give an overview of a number of the various different innovation supports that are available, and also give a few hints and tips around based on some of my experience for people who are looking to get started with this. So just very quickly, I'm going to go run through some of the reasons why companies might want to innovate, some of the barriers, where to start, some of the main schemes from Enterprise Ireland and SFI, and very quickly talk about some of the tax schemes and some of the Horizon 2020. There's a number of other speakers today that are going to be covering Horizon 2020 and the R&D tax credit scheme, including Jim, who I think is here. So I'm not going to. It's I'm just going to tip over those, and then just cover a few tips, where to go for advice and some conclusions. So Enterprise Ireland last year in their business survey, they found that 91% of the companies that they were dealing with were spending some money on innovation, and 66% were using the research and innovation grants at some level. And for the companies that were doing this, 25% have above average employment levels, and 30% had above average export levels. And the most important finding really was that companies that were investing in innovation had export levels 10 times Enterprise Ireland's client average. So it's very clear that companies that do decide to invest in research and innovation are seeing very strong results, certainly in Enterprise Ireland's experience. But the difficulty is that the schemes are complex. So where do you start? There's several different state agencies involved in this. There's at least 40 different schemes. There could be a lot more. There's at least 25 different higher education institutes across the different universities and the Institutes of Technology. There's at least 30 plus different Enterprise Ireland IDA technology centres, SFI centres, various different centres. And the truth is we're nearly running out of acronyms, so there's so many different centres that it can be quite complicated to know where to start. There was a survey done last year by KPMG and Red Sea, looking at some of the barriers to accessing innovation supports. And some of these key ones were that it was very difficult to get the information for either researchers or companies. The application procedures tended to be quite complicated. There really is too much red tape, and this was highlighted as a difficulty. Getting feedback, so when you make a grant application and you're unsuccessful, trying to get that feedback back to see can you go again or modify what you're looking to do, again, can be difficult. And the last thing was that there's too few grant opportunities for startups and smaller companies. An awful lot of very well established companies and companies that are on the innovation roadmap already have a great head start, and so that was a complaint from a lot of the startup people in the startup community. So thankfully in 2016 the department, the DJEI, produced a really helpful guide which lists all of the innovation supports that they're involved with. They're funding through either the IDA, Enterprise Ireland, SFI, etc. And it also lists a lot of the technology centres and the other centres that they're working through. And this guide is really, it's split into sort of 3 or 4 different key sections. The first one looks at the tax incentive schemes and the R&D grant schemes, and I'm just going to talk very quickly about some of those. The second looks at the schemes where you're looking to try and get a researcher to come and work into your company. And the last section is looking at the collaborative opportunities. So this could be starting with something quite straightforward like an innovation voucher, all the way up to looking to work with some of the technology centres or the SFI research centres. So let's look at maybe a couple of the schemes, and one of the most common ones is the Innovation Voucher Scheme. It's an ideal starting scheme for a company that really wants to get started or wants to dip their toe in the water. It can provide up to €10,000 if it's co-funded, €5,000 if the company just wanted to really just avail of the grant, if you will. It can really, it's quite broad in terms of what type of innovation a company might want to look to do. The idea is that you find a researcher in one of the HEIs that can help you with either a product development or a new process or something like that. And you get the researcher to scope out a proposal for you to get started to provide you with something that will be useful to your company. They tend to be quite quick, 2 to 3 months in duration, and it's, as I said, it's an ideal first step for a company to start down the road, but also to start investigating what are some of the different researchers that are available to do work for companies. The next one that would be similar to that, it tends to be for far bigger amounts of money, is the Innovation Partnership Programme. Again, looking at a new product or an improved process. Between 40 and 80% of the project costs would be available for this one, and would have a far longer duration than the Innovation Partnership Programme. So it would typically be 15 months, but a maximum of 2 years. And that's both of those are Enterprise Ireland programs. The other schemes that Enterprise Ireland have are the R&D Fund and the Business Innovation Fund. And again, these are company-specific programs where the company itself is looking to do the research. So they're looking to actually do, rather than partnering with a research institution, they're going to do the work themselves. And again, there's grant rates of up to 45% or an additional 5% if you're collaborating with another company or some other entity. And the other one scheme is the Business Innovation Scheme. It was on a pilot basis last year, but it looks like it's going to be extended. And again, that can provide a research grant for a maximum spend of up to €30,000. If a company then is thinking about getting a researcher to go and work within their company, to take on somebody to do some research work, there's a number of different schemes. Intertrade Ireland with the Fusion programme, and that's a collaboration between a company, an academic institution and a graduate, and again would provide about 55 to 60% of the cost of the graduate for 12 to 18 months duration. The Irish Research Council have 2 schemes, one designed for postgraduates in the environment-based programme. Again, there would be a company contribution required for this one, and this one was designed for Masters and PhD students. And they also have another scheme for funding postdoctoral researchers. And for this particular scheme, companies are asked to pay for the expenses of the postdoctoral researcher that will be working on the program. There's 2. Well, the R&D tax credit scheme has been in operation for a number of years, and it's possibly it's the most expensive scheme as far as the government is concerned. There's over €553 million being claimed every year now on this scheme, with over 1,600 companies making a claim. But the key thing around the R&D tax credit is that it can only be used to resolve a scientific uncertainty or a technological advancement within the company. So, and there is a fairly strict criteria around what will and won't apply in terms of the research that companies are doing for that. There's a new scheme which is starting this year, the Knowledge Development Box. And this scheme will allow a 6.25% tax rate to be applicable on products or services which are directly linked to specific IP that a company would have developed or is in the process of developing. So that scheme is going to start off this year. Horizon 2020, the European programme, huge programme, 80 billion. Over the course of the next, start in 2013. It's a very complex and competitive funding mechanism, and really, it's certainly it's an area that it would not be the area that I would advise companies or researchers to start with, because really there's a fair bit of work involved in it, but it certainly is one that if you feel that you have the opportunity to partner with other researchers in other countries or companies in other countries, it's well worth talking to. And the starting point there would be to talk to the national contact points. There's also a lot of niche funding opportunities, grants that really fall outside the remit of the general scheme. So a number of the other agencies have their own specific schemes. There are entrepreneur competitions run by the likes of Ernst & Young. A number of the banks have schemes as well, the Airbnb Seed Fund scheme, for example, the Social Innovation Fund. But the key message really is that if you've got to do your research and you've got to do your digging, because there are a lot of different ways and different schemes out there. So, on to some of the tips. And again, the key point I would say is that you've got to do your homework. There are a lot of schemes, but you really need to do your homework and decide what it is that you're about. The application process in itself can be very worthwhile. So, and that's a key point. If you apply for a scheme, it is bureaucratic. You will have to define what you're about. You will have to. There are forms and paperwork and stuff. But that process in itself can be extremely useful. It forces companies to think long and hard about what it is that they're trying to do in their future plans. It is bureaucratic, there's no doubt about that. You do need to stick with it. Don't be put off by rejection. Try and get feedback. Try and speak to whoever it was that you sent in the application to. If your application is rejected, and look to refine your application and reapply again the next time. Or again, look at a different grant option. So you need to have a fairly clear vision about your market, and you do need, when you're putting your application together, you need to be very clear about what it is that your product or service or what this particular grant is going to do. You have to have done a fair bit of competitive benchmarking. You need to be the applicant. Most of the schemes will require you to have to be able to explain exactly what competitive research you've done, what are your competitors about. How is this particular grant or this particular work going to improve your bottom line sales, your sales and the performance of your company? If you have protected or protectable IP, it's very important that you highlight that in the application process. And try to have validation of your product or services. Again, this is very important when you come to raise finance, for example. Seeking to get testimonials or recommendations. So where to go to next? The key, well, you're in the right place because conferences like this and dealing with either the Enterprise Ireland DAs or SFI contacts or the technology transfer offices, there's a huge amount of information and people available out there that will be quite happy to help and assist. A lot of the industry groups, again, such as the IRDG, for example, the IRDG run programs specifically around looking at grants. They had one last month in Galway, and they're looking to run it again later on in the year in Dublin. A lot of the industry-specific groups will provide you some help. And there are a lot of innovation-related, grant-related groups on LinkedIn, for example. And really, those are free mentoring groups in effect. So if you decided you want to go after a Horizon 2020 grant or you want to look at R&D tax credits, go onto LinkedIn, find a group like that and start asking some questions. So, in conclusion, figuring your way through the maze can be very, very difficult, but it is worth it. And the other key point I'd make is that you need to try and innovate. Part of the process of getting these supports in is to develop a culture of innovation within your companies. And it's a journey, not an exercise. An awful lot of people, I think about, oh, if I can get a grant, then that's, the grant in itself is the be-all and end-all. It's not. Really, it needs to be part of the journey that your company is on. And the grant really is only a little enabler along that way. That if you haven't defined exactly what that journey is, you will trip yourself up. So that concludes it. Thank you very much. If there's any questions, I'll take questions.